Welcome back, ladies and gents, boys and girls, and everything in between does not matter to me. Today, we're just going to go over some basic maintenance of your DEEBOT. If you have one, consider yourself one of the luckiest people in the face of the earth. There's a lot more. Anyhow, so consider yourself lucky, okay? These things are phenomenal. My son seems to think that it is a ride. It is not, obviously. But this thing is jam-packed, number one, with dirt, dog hair, debris, all kinds of fun stuff that happen in a busy life. So ultimately, we have a golden retriever, and I have just shy of a 2-year-old. So the house gets very, very dirty. So I don't want you to judge me on this, but we're going to clean this thing out. Just a real brief maintenance video is ultimately what this is. So here is the DEEBOT, the flying saucer of awesomeness. At the rear, we have the crap collector. Press down on this button right here and pull back. Okay, we're going to set that aside for right now. We'll get back to this because it is important. Now we're going to flip the bad boy over and we're going to take a look at the goodness here. And like I said, I have a golden retriever and just shy of a 2-year-old son. So we're going to go across this real slow. So just upon initial inspection, clump of dog hair, not surprising. Take these bristles and just sort of kind of, gently move anything out of the way. Wipe it down again, nice and gentle, just giving little tugs at all the millions and millions and trillions of dog hairs, right? I'm going to show you again, if you don't have this issue as in the dog hair, then we'll just skip right down to the basic maintenance. As you can see, there is like a balloon string or something stuck in here. Anyhow, these two tabs right here, you press in on and rock back. Just like so. Okay? You remove this awesome little catcher. We'll call it the catcher, right? From here, you remove your cylinder. Okay? I mean, just, guys, I'm serious. Like, golden retriever, who... we brush him, we bathe him, everything like that, and this is just the residual crap that gets built up. And we also sweep, believe it or not. We sweep and vacuum our house outside of this. That's a lot of crap, okay? They do include a tool to actually, kind of deburr and get all this out, but that's not the interesting part. You could watch me spend, 10 minutes tearing dog hair out of this thing, which is why I have my plastic bag over here, is to get all this out, right? But ultimately, I could spend a lot of time deburring this, and quite frankly, I will after this video. However, here's the cool part. So, in my experience, again, with a dog that I do have, you see this little nodule, this little roly-poly, spinny thing that swivels all over the place? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Here's the kicker, okay? That little thing right there, you can buy like a Harbor Freight pick set, right? And with your Harbor Freight pick set, you can actually pull this out gently. You don't want to scar up the rubber, you don't want to tear anything up, but you can gently pull this out, and from here it is very, very simple to clean. Simply pitch and pitch. Just grab the dog hair and get it out of the way, right? Now this little roly-poly thingamabobber here is clear and ready to rock. Again, brush all the excess dog hair out of the way, and you simply just pop it right back in. Well, if it doesn't roll. It's right back in, It still functions the same way. We're good to go, right? Now we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty, which is, what does your DEEBOT actually collect? Again, I'm slightly embarrassed to even show you this, but this is what your DEEBOT collects. This is all dog hair, dust, debris, rice, noodles, fingernail clippings. I don't know. It just picks anything and everything up off the ground. I'm not going to dig through this to show you exactly what it picks up, but I am going to show you that there's another part to this. You lift up on this filter, and it's very similar to almost like a HEPA filter. Okay, and I don't know what HEPA stands for, but it is a filter of sorts. Okay, on the other side here, you can pry up on this, and I believe that this is a consumable product. When I say consumable, I mean you could probably buy a replacement for this. That's another filter that you can replace or deal with. And then finally, we have a very, very delicate filter here. It's almost like a spongy material. Okay. And this is something that you want to pat out, dry out. You might be able to wash it with mild soap, that sort of thing. But again, the vast majority of all your crud is going to be on the guts. Okay. I'm going to dump this out into our handy dandy plastic bag here. Because I'm a man that is fortunate enough to own things, I have an air compressor and I can blow all this out. Again, that's not really the purpose of this video. This filter, in my opinion, if you can just sit here and watch. Okay, we almost literally cleared the entire thing up with just knocking it on the workbench a couple of times. See all that dust and crud and everything? Okay, you definitely want to make sure that it's clear. This is not a super duper, it's not a Dyson or anything like that. It's literally just trying to clean things up, right? So, reassembly. Let's get back to the reassembly. Okay, so from here, in reverse, what we're going to do is we're going to place our, let's go ahead and, guys, this is not super scientific, but we're just going to, excuse notifications, but we're just going to pat it out. It looks a little bit better, right? We're going to lay it back in here, making sure that everything lines up nice and pretty cool. Okay, it's in there. Next, what we're going to do, and this is kind of important, you want the tab facing up. This little tab right here facing up. So next we're going to slide this in. Okay, and then we're going to shut the door. Door shut. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to reinstall our fancy doohickey majigger here to where these tabs, these raised tabs, are facing up. Okay, just sort of kind of click it in place. Bada bing, bada boom, and then we close the whole thing back up. And then, from here, again, I'm actually going to do it much more thorough, but you just ultimately just reinsert it. Okay, so that's back on. Next step would be obviously to clean up the brushes. I'm going to do a 30-second cleanup of this thing. Count me down starting now. Okay, might be a little bit longer than 30 seconds, but we're just gonna quickly unwrap the balloon string, tear out as much, okay guys, I'm really on the clock here, tear out as much dog hair as humanly possible. Again, golden retriever, this thing is a lifesaver in that it sort of kind of just picks up all the loose crap. It does get into the corners and whatever else have you. Alright, so I'm past my 30 seconds, but you really just want to make sure that all the operating parts are clear. Again, this stinks. It's not fun. Lightly, if you do have like a box cutter or something like that, just very gently and lightly. You don't want to dig into the plastic. You don't want to dig into anything that's actually going to be vital. And I'm being very, very cautious and very, very careful of making sure that I don't do that. Again, the chunks are just ridiculous. And this is like, it's wild. The more that you can do with your hands, excluding a tool. They do include a tool to do all this fun stuff with, but it always gets lost. You can never find it when you need it. So just do this with a little bit of grit. And again, just gentle cutting, because you don't want to, like I said, you really don't want to dig into the plastic. You're almost massaging the hair out of this thing, which is ridiculous in and of itself. Okay, I think we've gotten to a point where we can, there we go. Now that is clear. You guys, I know it's hard to see, but this used to look like this. So we've gotten this end clear. Again, just gently pinching and pulling. Trying to get as much dog hair out of this thing as humanly possible. For those of you who are watching that don't have a golden retriever and don't have to deal with this, consider yourself lucky. I love my dog to death. His name is Calvin. I can share that with you. And he is my absolute best friend when it comes to, like, well, I'll say best dog I've ever owned, hands down. Here's a fun story about that. When he was a puppy, and I say puppy, and I'm talking like maybe 8-10 months old. We went fishing down at the river, and it was the first time at the river. Like, when I say river, I'm talking fast moving water, right? And again, my dad and I, we were fishing, and he did not understand the concept of the river. See how this looks a million times better? Did not understand the concept of the river, and I ended up swimming after him. I handed my dad my fishing gear, my tackle box, like everything, my beer cooler, whatever else have you, and ditched all of it to go swimming almost a mile downstream to get a hold of his scruff and pull him to the shore. I hollered at him for like 10 seconds and then realized it just wasn't going to happen. So I had to go after my dog. And he went on the other side of a pylon. And his eyes were about as big as dinner plates, right? Like, he was terrified. And after that moment, after that fishing trip, he was my main man. He was my road dog. Excuse the is it really a pun? Anyhow. So now that we've got our brush nice and clear, on one side, again, excuse me, on one side of this wonderful, fantastic tool, you'll see that there is a square notch, which is on this side, versus, all right, so in the plumbing world, you would call this female. All the way around. I gotta think backwards. This would be male. Shit, they're both male. What do we do about that? All right, so this part with the bearing on it fits into this hole, nice and neat, only after you fit the other end of it down into that part, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna gently set this in, and we're gonna let it rotate until it finds itself home. I'm sorry. On this end, we're going to gently rotate until it finds itself home. Then at this point, it should just set exactly where it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. From here, we take our little scooper upper fancy schmancy click poppy thing. Okay, we insert it on this side first, and then press in. That is the quick, fast, and the dirty way to actually clean up your DEEBOT. So, now that it's relatively clean, jeez, it's so much dog. All right, so German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, they're just, they shed a lot. And it is always a challenge to keep up with them. This is a wonderful, wonderful, great tool to help you keep up with them. Anyhow, that again is the nitty gritty. I could polish this thing up and make it look like a pig with lipstick on it, but the DEEBOT, this thing is phenomenal. It came as a gift, and we literally use it every day. My son rides it like it's a teacup at Disney World. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, this is Dad Time, just signing out, just trying to give you a little bit of a manly man tool. You have to take care of your appliances, guys, okay? Because if you don't take care of them, then you got to fix them. And if you don't know how to fix them, you're shit out of luck. You got to hire somebody to fix them. So this is a wonderful tool. Treat it like all of your other tools. Clean it out regularly. And make sure that everything is squared away and ready to rock. That's the best advice I can give you. Again, Dad Time signing out. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.